Assalamu alaikum. May the peace be with you all. It is so amazing to have you all back ready for our crafts day. It is going to be awesome. We have two amazing crafts that we're going to be doing today. A sunset scene made out of our maple leaves that we collected. And as well, we're going to make an autumn crown out of our goldenrods and our grapevine and our amazing maple leaf collection. So I hope you stay tuned and let's get crafting. So let's start with our crown. Do you remember how I picked those beautiful goldenrods? Okay, I still have them. Brought them in with me, of course. So I have them here. We have one. Okay. And we have our second one. Remember, we measured them together. That's our second one. And then remember, we've got this amazingly cool grapevine that was growing out in the wild. This is going to be really super awesome. Okay, so it is going to be a crown. So what we're going to be doing first, now we are going to be using parts of our goldenrods also for our sunset picture too. So we're just going to snip off the tops there. So let me just get my scissors and we'll do a little snipping. Okay, got my scissors, snip, snip. Now it's time to just snip off the tops because we will need these flowering parts. You see these little flower parts here? Yeah, we're just going to snip them off just about here because we are going to use them for our scene, our sunset scene. So I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to give them a little clip so I have it like this. Eee, nice little tree. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one too. They don't have to be exactly the same height. One could be longer, one could be shorter, it's okay. So again, this is the flowery part here, and then we want it to be maybe around this height. I think we want the flower with a little bit of the stem left. And we're going to snip, there you go. So here I have two little snippets from my goldenrods. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our goldenrod rods and we're going to twist them together and twist them together and twist them together. And that's going to make a really nice rope. So we're going to do that. I'm going to show you. I started twisting it together already. And then you're going to twist it a little bit more. You're going to try not to break them. Okay, and this will be really nice as we go along. Okay, and we're going to go to the higher part. And again, we're going to twist them. Just like that, we're going to twist them around each other. It is a little messy, but you'll see it's really so special and so cool when they're finished. Okay, so now that you see there's a twist and they're all connected together really nicely. You see that? See how they're twisted? We're going to wrap them around. Now remember, it's a crown, so you can use it. Use your head as a gauge to see how far you want it. Okay. This is really my gauge. So you see how I have my shape of my head and I have the two parts here. I have this piece and this big long piece. Well, we're going to wrap this piece back into the circle and that will hold it nice and tight. I'm going to take it and wrap it back into here. And you don't want to apply too much pressure because it may snap. There. You see how it locked it in really nicely? I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and there we go. There's a little triangular looking part to it, but we're just going to soften it up. So if it is like, you know how it's angular here, we're just going to soften around these edges a little bit just by pressing on it. Just like that. And then it's going to soften it up because what happened is that it bent in an angular position. And we're just going to soften it up so that it's nice. Then we're going to take this part and we're going to wrap it around too as well. There we go. And then where the two meet, in between here, we're going to stick this piece in between here. Like that. There, and it'll lock in place, just like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is, do you remember our grapevine? We're going to take our grapevine and we're going to wrap it around our crown. All right, so here's our grapevine. And then we're just going to take this one and wrap it around as well. All right, we're going to go. I'm going to take this piece and bend it in. I don't think we're going to need all of it, so we're going to do a little snipping. We're going to snip it. My scissors are really dull, guys. Ah, there we go. Do I have my stronger scissors? Okay. So I shortened my grapevine because it was way too big. I'm going to take this piece and I put it in. We're just going to wrap it around. I should have twisted it in with everything. And again, where it's bending or cracking, you just want to soften it up just by bending it a little bit in each part. There we go, that's better. That won't crack, because if you just go and you want to just use it, it will crack. So you don't want it to crack. So you just want to make it a little malleable by working it through. Okay. Alright, so there's our first set of crown. Now, do you see how it's really crazy? We're going to trim out some of these big leaves. We don't need these leaves. These extra leaves here, these grape leaves, we don't need them. So I'm just going to trim them. I like some of them, but I don't like all of them. Like these big giant ones, they're going to get in my way. Let's trim those ones. There we go. That's looking a little nice. I like this one at the back. I think it's kind of cute. Put it on like that. It's kind of nice. It's a nice little crown. This one I'm not too sure about. What do you think? Let's get rid of this one. This one is definitely a big giant one. He got lost in there. Bye-bye. We don't need you. Okay. I do like this one. But it's kind of sticking out very oddly, so I'm actually going to remove it too as well. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to snip it out because we're going to have lots of leaves on this one. Alright, so here we have this odd shaped piece here too as well. I'm just going to, just like how we did before, we're just going to bend it just a little bit just to make it a little malleable so it doesn't snap in half. We don't want it to snap in half. We just want to make it, just bend it, keep bending it, bending it, bending it, bending it, that it's a little bit more rounded. You see how it's became rounded? It's not just sticking out. Because if you force it, then it's going to snap, and we don't want it to snap. Then we'll have these big angular parts to our crown. We want it nice and rounded. So we just want to give it a good, just help it along. Not force it, but help it along. And then we're just going to take it and then twist it in. Yes! Okay. And then we have these really cool vines. That's what I really like about the grapevines. They have these cute little like vine twirls in them. I think it's so neat. I love it. This is an extra piece. Ooh, we don't need. All right, so that looks cute. I like it. It's really very Lord of the Ringsy. So once we have our nice twist, which is amazing, I love it. See, the little twist in there will allow us to place some beautiful leaves. So we're going to keep the stems on these ones, but we are going to treat them a little bit because we don't want them to get crusty over the time period that they're going to be for. Because as we know with leaves, if you leave them for a long time, they're going to get really crusty and crumbly. So we're actually going to just lacquer them with a special decoupage glue. And that will give it a sheen, but it'll also protect it from crumbling and getting too dry. Now, for our crown, you do have to remember to paint the stems too with decoupage glue, because if you don't, they'll dry out. They'll break very easily, and we need our stems to stick them into our crown. So I've got my paintbrush and I've got my jar of decoupage glue. I'm just going to dip a little bit in there. So I've got a little bit on there. And then I'm just going to paint right over my leaf. There you go, that's how it looks. Then I'm just going to leave it to dry. Once it's dry, then I'll flip it over and I'll do the other side. So as you can see, and if I turn this camera here, you'll see I've been working on my leaves and decoupaging them with their decoupage glue. Do you see that nice sheen there that it's giving the leaf? It's beautiful, but as you can see, it still needs to dry. Yeah, there's a lot of wet glue still there. So what we're going to do in the meantime is we're going to take our crown and we are going to just coat it with the same decoupage glue too as well. So I've got my decoupage glue and I'm just going to paint it nicely all the way around, and all of the leaves too as well, so they have that nice glistening layer of sealant and also that nice gloss that we have with the other with the leaves that we've done already. Alright, as you can see, I've got my crown on, but it's missing all of the leaves. It's not really ready yet. But as you can see, I decoupaged it, so it has that beautiful, glistening gloss to it. So as you can see, I have a few of my leaves on my crown already. And I have been tucking them into the little gaps in between my twists and folding them back in. Alright, so I'm going to show you how that works. So I'm going to show you at the back here. So we need some at the back too as well. Do you see how there's openings in between the twists? Well, I'm going to take my leaf and I'm going to stick it inside the opening of the twist. Alright, now I just need my stem. Do you see my stem over here? Hello! Do you see it dancing at the bottom there? Okay, great. I'm just going to grab my stem. So this is my stem here. I don't know if you can see it, but here's my stem. Here's my little stem. So I want my leaf to be looking outwards, so it looks really nice. And then I'm going to twist it to the side. So I'm not going to twist it up and I'm not going to twist it back. I'm going to twist it towards the side, because if we twist it directly up, it could snap, and we don't want our stem to snap. If I do the same thing towards the back, it will push my leaf downwards, and I don't want. I want it to be standing up so it's nice and cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stem and I'm going to twist it to the side. So I'm going to turn it this way where it's a little bit easier, more easier for me to see. Then I'm going to take it and I'm just going to pop it in there like that. And it's nice and weaved in. And then you rearrange it too to make sure that it has, I'm actually going to put it behind this vine. I think that will hold it nice and stable. And so it's really just arranging your leaves so they're nice and tight. And they look really pretty. They look really pretty. There we go, pull that through a little bit more. So as you can see, that's my leaf. See? It's standing up really nice. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to finish all the way. I'm going to take, this is my crown, and I'm going to put it on my head like that. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? So, I have my most amazing, gorgeous leaf crown in the world. I love it. It looks really great. I love the look of it. It's so cute. But I do have one finalizing step. Do you remember how we put on all the leaves? Well, they're kind of just sitting there, and yes, they're woven in really nicely, but we want to strengthen it so it can last a little longer. So wherever your stems twist in, you're just going to paint over the stem along with the area that it's touching on the crown. So that will just strengthen it so that it won't come apart when you're wearing it. It can be stuck together really, really nicely. So you can wear it for a longer period of time. Mine, I love it so much, I'm actually going to hang it on my wall. And whenever I want to wear it or use it for a different project or for creating a new character, I can take it off and I can use it. But I think it's just so pretty, like even on the wall, I think it'll just look really, really nice. So as you can see, I did finish the decoupage how I said I would, where I would decoupage where all the leaves met and where the stems were on the crown so that it would seal it, so that when I'm moving around, you know, and I brush them and things like that, they're just not going to fall off or crumble or anything like that. So they're looking pretty good. I like it. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? That is my crown that I made. Yes, it's beautiful. Look at it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It looks so good. Oh, yeah. So, you know, I was looking back at the footage and I realized something, you know, all the way through. I don't like this little thing here. What is this? I'm going to snip it off, guys, okay? It needs a little snipping because I don't like it. Let's give it a snip. Boop! Gone! That looks a lot better. What do you think? It looks fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I don't know about you, but I think it looks better. Alright, enjoy your crowns, guys. Assalamu alaikum. May the peace be with you all. Salam.